Seems to be taking its time. Oh, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Book Time with Elvis. And of course, we are back with our regular show. So I don't really need to introduce him as if he's some kind of special guest. But my co-host is, of course, the immutable, indomitable Randy Ray.
Hey everybody, it's me, Randy Ray, the literate Texan.
The literate Texan, exactly. Yeah.
That's right. I have a channel here on YouTube also. It's called The Literate Texan, and I am the host of The Literate Texan, Randy Ray. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, God, I beg of you, please subscribe.
Well, there's only 3 people watching currently, so
I want all 3 of them.
All 3 of them. Well, maybe they're already there. So
could be.
Could be.
You don't think our audience is overlapped, do you, Mark?
No, I think they're very different. Very different.
This is one of my favorite things, this Wednesday thing.
Yeah, I look forward to it. It's good fun. Usually good.
Yeah, it really is.
Good discussion in the comments and things from our.
Was it last week that we had to miss, or the week before?
No, week before. Yeah, we were here last week. Yeah. So
I had a doctor's appointment that I had to leave the house for yesterday, and I got good news.
Yeah.
Well, you know this already. I have a wound on my foot that seems to want to refuse to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And the treatment has been going on now for 42 weeks, almost a year. And the dang thing still hasn't healed, because it's hard to get a wound on your foot to heal because you're always walking on it, which puts pressure on it. And, when it starts to heal, it tears it back up again. So I'm supposed to stay off my feet as much as possible. But at any rate, they changed the therapy that they're using to try to help my foot heal. And the new therapy seems to be working.
Oh, that's good. Good news.
Yeah, it's great news, because I'd like to start getting some cardio exercise. Because, I've lost 215 pounds. But I've got more weight I'd like to lose.
Start doing some 5K runs.
Eventually, maybe. It's possible. Believe it or not, when I was in my 20s, I went running 4 times a week.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. I have to say I never did that in my 20s, 4 times a week running. No. So
I had a car full of women whistle at me while I was running one time.
There you go.
Like I say, that was when I was in my 20s. That was a good 30-something years ago.
Well, when I was in high school, obviously I used to play rugby, and we had to do fitness training and things like that. So we used to have to go for runs. And what I used to do, I used to have to run to we had this gym. So I'd run to the gym. I'd do I'd kind of, fast walk to the gym, let's say, and I'd do my little workout for my positions and stuff in rugby. And then you'd have to take the long way back. It was like 1.1 miles. So I'd walk quite a bit of the way. But then when I got to where the girls, because we had the girls, and it was all boys until you got to 16, and then 16 to 18 was girls and boys. And when I got to the girls outside playing netball or training for netball, which is kind of like basketball, let's say, I would run fast past them. So I'd been walking up to that point. When I got around the corner, I'd run. So they would think, of course, that I've been running, I've been bombing it the whole way. And of course they would be like, "Ooh, come on, well done, go for it," like this. And of course it was like complete bullshit, because I literally just been walking until I turned the corner, and it's like. So we have a few people left a couple of comments. So Lou's here. Hey kids. Hey Lou, good to see you. Helen's here. Buongiorno, Helena. Come va? So, yeah. So there we have it. Yeah. I know there's only 6 people here at the moment, but if anyone wants to join us, we've decided to have it. Well, there's 9 people now. We decided to have it as a bit of an open mic. So if you want to come on and chat to us face to face on this little thing, you can. There's a link in the description, and you'll be very welcome indeed. Would love to have you on. Wouldn't we, Andy?
We did have a guest scheduled, but he's traveling and couldn't make it today. But we will get him back on the schedule again.
Yes, we'll get him somewhere. It seems like he's doing some kind of Interrail, Eurorail, or something like that. So he's at the mercy of the European train timetables, probably, or something like that, I imagine. So,
You know what? Let's give some plugs for some of our future guests. We have upcoming over the next few weeks. Steve Donahue will be joining us one day. Christopher Russell will be joining us for a show soon, and Robin Songs Reed is on our schedule to also join us. So, we're doing our best to get guests lined up, and I'm in charge of booking the guests. So, because of course Mark supplies the personality.
Of course,
so.
Yeah. It seems dark here. I mean, I know it is. What is it? 7:10, but it just feels like it's getting a little bit dark, or I look a bit darker.
Fall is coming.
Sorry.
So when I was in college, we had dormitories, and of course they changed the name of them to residence halls because the old names for things are never good enough. They changed the names to everything. Then so residence hall, I guess, sounded better. But at any rate, I lived at the only all-male dorm on campus. There was also an all-female dorm on campus too. So I knew where to meet women. And my nickname in college was the Carpet Bomber because I was very systematic about asking out every woman I met. So, but my big strategy for meeting women that worked really well was there were lobbies to these dorms where you could just hang out. Maple Hall was the all-female dorm, and I would set up a spades game. I would teach everybody to play spades, which isn't a hard game to learn. But I set up in the lobby of the all-girls dorm and would wind up playing spades and met countless women that way. If you want to catch fish, you got to go where the fish are.
I swear, sometimes I think this live turns into Randy's dating advice. But I tell you what, Randy, you reminded me. One of the books I will come to these a bit later, but one of the books I finished this week was about. It was a royal biography of Prince Andrew and Fergie. It's a biography of both.
Okay.
And obviously Andrew thinks himself a bit of a ladies' man and stuff like that. And since he was at school and until according to the book, he was known as Randy Andy. And now talking to you, I'm thinking we should just call you Randy. So
Randy Ray.
Randy Ray, yeah. So the Carpet Bomber.
One nickname that I had for years was Ramblin' Randy.
Rambling.
I think it had something to do with how much I talk.
No.
I think so. I think it really did have to do with how much I talk. So.
The Carpet Bomber.
Go figure that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mark, let me ask you a question. What have you been reading lately?
What have I been reading lately? Well, I finished 2 books actually this week, which is, I go from 0 to 2, so that's not so bad. The first one, as I just mentioned, is called Entitled by Andrew Lowney. I put out a video on it yesterday, which is this kind of dual biography of the Duke and Duchess of York. So Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, to those who don't know. So Fergie and Prince Andrew. It was good. It was very good. I mean, it was shocking, of course, and perhaps, a lot of the stuff I knew already, but there was lots of things I didn't know. I'm just kind of flabbergasted that, given his links to Jeffrey Epstein and, the kind of younger women that he may have been involved with and some of the things he's done, I'm just really surprised, or alleged to have done, I should say. I'm just really surprised he hasn't faced any kind of external discipline, from the police or anything like that, really. I mean, I suppose it's not surprising given that he is a prince and son of the late Queen, and obviously had her protection, no doubt. But I just think it's surprising in the 21st century that it's still like this and that he was able to get away with so much for so long. So that was one of the books I read. And the other one I read was the one that BookTube chose for me. I gave BookTube 5 options that I was trying to decide what to read. and they chose this book, The House by the Lake by Thomas Harding, and I put a video up about it today, which is basically just a biography of a house by a lake in Berlin or near Berlin, and it looks at it from 1890 through till around the mid 2010s. And it was fascinating. 5 families who lived there, their different circumstances, and it was a really engaging, very moving book. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So there we have it. Those are the 2 books I've finished. What about you?
That sounds really interesting. The House by the Lake.
House by the Lake, fantastic. Yeah, really, really good.
Is it available on the Kindle? I might want to read that.
Yeah, it's on the Kindle. Yeah.
I think I'd like to read that. Well, I just finished Travels with Charlie by John Steinbeck.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Good fun.
Yeah, it's they're one of the events that's going on, and I don't think it's a particularly big event, but it's important to the people who are involved in it, is Summer of Steinbeck.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe the agenda for the actual event was to read Grapes of Wrath one month and East of Eden the other month, and compare and contrast and decide which one you like better. So, of course, I throw the rules out the window. I play by my own rules, and I decided I was going to reread Travels with Charlie, which I've read a couple of times when I was younger. One of my favorite things to do is to read outside. And when I was younger, believe it or not, I used to be kind of the rugged outdoorsy type. So I used to go camping with buddies or go on fishing trips with buddies, but I always tried to get there a day early, because once they got there was no reading to get done. There was too much beer drinking and laughing and making fools of ourselves. But so I'd get there a day early so I could spend some time reading. And one year, now I used to read very quickly when I was younger. I don't read quickly at all now. But one year we went camping, and I got there early in the morning and got camp set up. And I read Walden, Henry David Thoreau, and Travels with Charlie in the same day. I finished both of them in the same day. Really great experience reading both of those outdoors.
Yeah, I like
Travels with Charlie is just as good now as I remembered it being then.
Yeah. No, it's a very nice book. That actually, it's funny.
Charlie Poodle.
Yeah. The first ever book I talked about, my first ever BookTube video, was a John Steinbeck book. It was his Russian journal. I don't know if you've read that. It's very good.
I have not.
It's excellent.
One of my life projects is to read all of John Steinbeck. He's terrific. He was when I was in 7th and 8th grade, they called it junior high school. Now they call it middle school. And they had 2 separate English classes. You had a reading class and you had a language class. One was grammar, and that was the language class. And the reading class obviously was literature. But the literature teacher that I had, John Steinbeck, was her favorite author. And I really liked her. And I believe we read Of Mice and Men. But Grapes of Wrath was one of the first adult novels that I ever read. But I haven't read anything by John Steinbeck that I disliked yet. Everything I've read, A++. Yeah. So I did enjoy rereading Travels with Charlie. I also read, this was an unusual book, and I don't know if you've read it, a very short book, Miss Lonely Hearts by Nathaniel West. Nathaniel West was an American author who was close friends with F. Scott Fitzgerald. But he died very young. I believe he was 37 years old when he and his wife were killed in a car wreck. So only wrote and published 4 books. Miss Lonely Hearts, you couldn't even describe it as a novel, really. It's only the edition I had was 80 pages. It's more of a novella than anything. But it's about the author of an advice column in the New York Post, Miss Lonely Hearts, which is written by a man. And there's a lot of letters coming in. This was set during the Depression. There were a lot of letters coming in sincerely looking for life advice from people who just miserable circumstances. And Miss Lonely Hearts eventually grows mentally ill and develops alcoholism because of the job, answering these questions and deciding which ones to answer and how to answer them. But basically, he becomes like a Christ-like figure who's able to suffer, but he can't offer redemption in the way that Christ can. So, very unusual book, but I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure I enjoyed it. Sometimes I have to sit with a book for a couple of days afterwards to decide whether or not I liked it. Are you that way?
Not often, but occasionally. Yeah, occasionally things
immediately. Yeah,
are going to stay with you. So after you
I
read,
finished the ones I talked about on previous episodes. I finished Galactic Patrol, and it was okay. And I finished The Killer Inside Me, which was good. If you like Psycho by Robert Bloch, you'll love The Killer Inside Me because it's even better. But I've done more planning for what I'm going to read the rest of the year. I'm in the middle of this is interesting to me anyway. It's Garbagus, so I'm in the middle of a book called Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Rambo movies, starring Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah. I am.
Okay, well, spoiler alert. Rambo First Blood was based on a novel by an author named David Morrell. And he's a great author for that kind of book. But in the novel, the main character, John Rambo, dies at the end. The movie, of course, he doesn't die.
No, because there's another 5 Rambos.
Right. So they made Rambo First Blood Part 2. And the studio approached him about writing the novelization. He's like, well, how can I write the novelization? I wrote the previous novel and he died at the end of it. And so eventually he was talking to a friend of his, another author, and I wish I could remember the name of the author, but the other author told him, it's simple, man. You just put one page at the beginning and explain that Rambo dies at the end of the previous novel, but he didn't die in the movie, which is what he did. And so the novelization for the movie is interesting because the movie itself was co-written by James Cameron.
Right.
Who I don't think is much of a writer. I think James Cameron's a fine director, but not much of a writer at all. But to make it into a novel, Rambo First Blood Part 2, you can imagine there's a lot of guns and shooting, and you can only get so many pages out of that. So David Morrell really expanded the plot and the backstory of John Rambo and made him a Zen Buddhist. So it's a pretty interesting novel.
Well, so he could just be
really enjoying it,
wouldn't he?
Beg pardon?
If he's a Buddhist, he could have just been reincarnated again. Hence, he's come back as a different Rambo, and
that would have worked too. Yeah. So far, it's a great book. David Morrell's good at this action-y kind of stuff. I'm also in the middle of, I generally keep several books going at once, but I'm also in the middle of a book called Created, The Destroyer. And The Destroyer was a men's adventure series that was popular in the late 60s and throughout the 70s and 80s. And it's written by a team of authors, Warren Murphy and Richard Saper, I believe were their names. And basically, Remo Williams is the main character. He's a police officer. He's framed for murder, and they fast-tracked his execution by the electric chair, but they have things set up so that it doesn't really kill him.
Right.
Then they give him plastic surgery, and they make him part of a government organization called CURE. And CURE is a very small organization that works outside of the Constitution and answers only to the President of the United States. And it's a really small organization because there's literally only 3 people. There's the head of CURE, Harold Smith, and then there's Remo Williams, the assassin, and then there's Chun, who's not really a member of CURE. He's Remo Williams' instructor in the art of assassination. He's a master of Sinan Ju. Does it sound familiar? Are you familiar with this at all?
No.
Yeah. So anyway, the books go on as Remo Williams gets trained in Sinan Ju, which is the the origin of all the other martial arts and assassinations. The ninjas are just pale imitations of masters of Sinanju.
Right.
And so, anyway, they're very entertaining. It was a spoof and a parody of men's adventure novels, but I think people who liked men's adventure novels were really fond of the Destroyer novels too. I probably read about 50 of them when I was younger, but they definitely fit in that Garbagast category.
Yeah, it sounds like it should be Garb August reading. But I want to say, as we have people watching now, so if you do want to join us, you can. There's a link to join us on this live in the description. You'll be very welcome. It'd be good to have an open mic.
Yeah, come on, talk to us. Get on screen. This is your chance. You can plug your channel.
Exactly, plug your channel. Exactly. We have a few more comments. Hello there. Are Trump and Epstein mentioned? Yes, they both are mentioned in that book. Epstein, definitely. There's an entire chapter on him. Trump is mentioned in passing, though. I guess the author has to be a bit careful. Oh, yes, I remember Andy headlines. Yes, indeed. Great video on Entitled, and now on my TBR, I enjoyed The Traitor King. Yes, I haven't read that yet, but it does look good. Definitely protected. I wouldn't like to meet Prince Andrew, that's for sure. Nancy, I'm currently reading Cannery Row by John Steinbeck.
Oh, what a great book Cannery Row is.
The deal that was arranged for Epstein included non-prosecution clause that granted immunity to any potential co-conspirators identified. Well, yeah, but that's in America. So, you know, I guess in Britain, that wouldn't count. So he could still face charges and stuff there. Yeah, so, or in any other jurisdiction that these things took place in. I like reading outdoors too. I'm trying to read The Grapes of Wrath now, but it's long, but I've been assured it's worth it. And then we should start a new column here. Dear Randy, send in your problems. That could be quite good, Randy, couldn't it? Dear Randy,
it could be. It could be very interesting because
I'm in love with a fellow booktuber. How do I go about approaching her?
Come
on, give me your advice.
Oh, you want to know? Well, you start. I'm in love with several booktubers. Yeah, you start by inviting them on your show to do an interview. Yeah, that's how you start. And with any luck, you like similar books.
So I should ask her to come on a live with me, should I?
Absolutely.
There you go. Right, and then just flirt in front of my entire audience of.
Absolutely, yeah. Because then, if it doesn't go well and she doesn't reciprocate your feelings, you can save face by saying, "Oh, yeah, that was just for show anyway."
Yeah, that's right, just for show. Again, at 19 people, we are an open mic this evening. You are welcome to join us.
19 people, the biggest audience we've ever had.
There's a link in the description, so click that and you can come on and talk to us. It would be great. No, it's not the biggest. We've been up to mid-30s before, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Well, if any of you 19 people out there aren't subscribed to me yet, you can find my channel at The Literate Texan. I'm the host there. Mark is one of the people who inspired me to start my BookTube channel, in fact. So
very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's true. No. I was watching you long before I started my own channel.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I mean, I really never watched it myself to begin with. I had no idea. It was all new to me when I came on. I wasn't a long-term watcher who started a channel. I just jumped straight in with the channel. So
I was watching you and Steve Donahue, and I was watching Better Than Food. Clifford Lee Sargent, great show. I love that one. I asked him one time what he did for a living. We were chatting on the phone. I asked him one time what he did for a living. He said, "This is what I do for a living."
Definitely worse ways to make a living.
Right? I'm not making a living from my YouTube channel yet. But you can help.
How?
By subscribing to my channel.
How can you make a living out of YouTube or BookTube?
Got to have a lot of subscribers first.
Is it really the subscribers or is it more the viewers? I think I think you can probably do
It's
it right.
definitely the viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more the viewers.
I mean,
The thing to look at is the number of page views that your videos are getting, and also the amount of comments that your pages are getting. It's all about engagement. Number of subscribers is a meaningless metric because you don't know how many of those are robots or not. I'll give you an example. One of my videos might get 250 views, but I have 2,000 subscribers. Okay. So let's say it wouldn't be unusual for me to publish a video that got 200 views on my 2,000 subscribers. But you've got, say, Christopher Russell, who's scheduled to be on our show in the future, and he's got 3,000 subscribers, which is more than mine. But if you look at his views on his videos, he might have 1,000 views on his 3,000 subscribers.
He's got over 4,000 subscribers now. So.
Is he up to 4,000? Well, at any rate, if you compare those numbers, the number of views that his average video gets to the number of subscribers that he has, it's a big percentage. Mine's a small percentage.
But I also see people. I've seen a few people. I won't mention their names, but for example, some who have 5, 6, 7,000, and they have really very low numbers of views. It doesn't quite, add up. I don't know whether some people just get subscribers because, people see them and think, oh, they're nice. Oh, yeah, I'll subscribe to them, but I probably won't ever watch them again,
Well, sometimes people will publish something that's not typical for their channel, and they'll pick up a lot of subscribers from that, but they're not necessarily interested in books. For example, and I don't know this, but Criminale posted a video about how he quit drinking a few years ago. And good for him. I quit drinking 10 years ago myself, and I know how hard it is. But that video became viral on his channel and had a massive number of page views. It's one of the most popular videos on his channel, in fact. But how many of those people who watched a video about how to quit drinking, how many of those were actually readers and are going to be interested in tuning into the latest ebook reader review that he's posted?
Probably quite an interesting study, the incidence of alcoholism among booktubers and readers.
Yeah. Well, we all know that most writers. Now, when I was younger, I aspired to be a writer, and I used to tell people that I was a drinker with a writing problem.
We do have some comments. Where are we? My dog just jumped up to go find Elvis. Do you have a favorite Steinbeck novel, Randy?
Do I have a favorite Steinbeck novel? Golly, it's really, Travels with Charlie is ostensibly nonfiction. But I think it's pretty well accepted now that it was mostly fictionalized. Travels with Charlie would be close to my favorite. Man, it's really, really hard to beat Cannery Row. It's such a lovely novel. But East of Eden was also really terrific. It's really hard to say because I also loved his adaptation of King Arthur. And I'm so sad that didn't get finished. He only got halfway finished with his adaptation of the Tales of King Arthur. But I don't know if you've read those, but they're wonderful.
Yeah, I have the nice Penguin Deluxe one. Yes,
I'm a big fan of the Tales of King Arthur, and any chance I get, but I can't count that. So I'd say it's either Cannery Row or East of Eden.
Okay.
Probably Cannery Row. Cannery Row is such a sweet novel.
Last night, someone mentioned that the number of comments you accumulate is included in some metric that is a plus according to YouTube. Is that accurate? I don't know if you're referring to Claire Steve's live stream last night. I don't know because there was something.
What was the question again?
Apparently, that the number of comments you accumulate is included in some metric that is a plus according to YouTube. Is that accurate?
I
don't
would
know.
imagine that is accurate. What is probably not a plus that everybody thinks is a plus is the number of likes that you get on a video.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that's a metric that YouTube pays any attention to. The
Have you
likes,
have
the
you seen
likes figure.
have you seen the new thing that YouTube's got? This hype.
No.
So you can hype videos now. You get something like 3 hypes per week. And I think eventually
Oh,
they
okay.
want any more, you have to pay for them. Why people would do that, I don't know. But like if you when you comment or like a video, but it doesn't seem across the board. It's on mine, but I didn't put it there. So if you can click it and you hype it, and what it does is it moves it up a ranking on a country list. So it doesn't actually
Okay.
like move up for suggestions in like the algorithm. I don't exactly know how it works, but it does seem a bit of a strange thing. It's a bit like, I suppose, somehow this kind of boost post thing that you had on Facebook.
Well, that's all new to me. But as
Yeah.
far as the likes function goes, everybody thinks that affects what Google thinks of your video, but really it's just a tool for it's a tool that YouTube uses to decide what to show you.
So you
In
like
other
the
words, you don't
video, and it says that you like this type of content, so I'm going to show you
right.
more of this type of content.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to say again, it's an open mic. If anyone wants to come on, no one seems to want to, but there is a link in the description. You can click on that and you can join us. You can come on here and talk to us, promote your channel, talk about anything you want, talk about your own BookTube experiences, either as a commenter or a BookTuber. You don't need to have a channel to come on. You know, you can
just come on. Anybody can come on.
Exactly. Helen says we need a new Winnie the Pooh story. Mark Pooh on his journey to give up honey. Yes. Nancy says I've read of Mice and Men, The Pearl, and East of Eden. So far, I'm enjoying Cannery Row. So,
Cannery Row is so great. Have you read that one, Mark?
No, I haven't. I'm really lax in my Steinbecks. I've read King Arthur and His Knights. I've read Travels of Charlie. I've read A Russian Journal. I've read Of Mice and Men. And I've read something else. Is it The Pearl? No.
The Pearl is one I haven't
read. Yeah. So I think that's all I read. So, but he's someone I enjoy, and I will definitely sit down and one day read him when I've got the time and the inclination.
You can get the complete works.
You can get all the short novels in one Penguin Deluxe Classic.
Well, and if you're interested in ebooks, which I am nowadays because it's very hard for me to see a actual paper book, Delphi publishes an ebook version of everything Steinbeck wrote.
Elvis.
Those Delphi editions are so great.
They are very good. Very good.
Well, okay, so let's talk about this. We've talked about what we have read. We've talked about what we are reading. What are your plans for the rest of the year, reading-wise?
Well, goodness. I haven't maybe looked that far ahead, but September, I'm going to challenge Shorty September and read a book a day, or read I guess it's a book, whether it's a play or a novel or whatever. But I'm going to read something every day. For Shorty September. I've got my videos already out with my TBR for that. I don't think it's going to change. I don't know. You never know.
I have 4 recommendations for Shorty September.
Right.
May I?
You may.
A Study in Scarlet.
Yeah.
The Sign of the Four. The Hound of the Baskervilles. And Valley of Fear.
Excellent recommendations. Yeah, I think if anyone is thinking of doing it, hasn't read Sherlock Holmes, then you would be, they're very good choices to try for that. So yeah, I think it's a good.
Those are the 4 novels, the 4 canonical novels that the canon for Sherlock Holmes consists of 4 novels and 56 short stories.
Yeah. So,
but none of the collections of short stories are short enough to read in a day, but all of the novels are.
Yeah. So that's September. October, I think, is open because I was trying to step back from a lot of BookTube events. I just kind of fancy shortly September. So that's October. I'm not sure, but November, of course, definitely as the one of the. I think I'm the founder actually, not
You
the
are?
host, but the founder of Dr. November, and I'm looking forward to that. It is probably my favorite event of the year, and I'm not just because I started it, but because I just love espionage fiction and things. So, and non-fiction can be included. I'm thinking very seriously. I think I mentioned this last time of having The Quiet American as the group read for that, and
Oh,
then
I love that book.
I'm not sure.
And the movie.
Yeah, no, it's a good film. Although Steve
Well,
doesn't
there's two movies actually, and I've only seen one of them. But
yeah.
I haven't seen the black and white original, but I have seen the one with Michael Caine and Brendan Fraser.
Helen says, really looking forward to shortly September. No way I can do 30 and 30, but I'm aiming for 15. Well, you never know, Helen. You never know. You might surprise yourself, especially if you pepper it with a couple of plays and maybe some graphic novels. You'll maybe be able to do it anyway. So yeah.
Miss
And then
Lonely Heart would be a candidate for shortly September.
And then December, I was thinking possibly, because it's not very long, I was thinking possibly of putting in The Mystery of Edwin Drood into my November, even though it's not in with Dr. November, and then trying to read Drood by Dan Simmons in December. So not entirely sure that. So
That might be fun.
Nancy says, I plan to read more Dickens, Trollope, and Margaret Oliphant in October. Very nice. Helen, I've never participated in Dr. November, but I could reread my favorite, The 39 Steps. Well, you could, Helen, or you could just reread The 39 Steps in shortly September, because it's an extremely short book and you would definitely get it done in an hour.
It's on my list.
So,
for shortly September.
There you go. So you're taking part in shortly September or Shake-tember or something, Randy? Or
I am indeed, yes. Yeah, yeah. I have the year. I've reading plans for the rest of the year. In fact,
enlighten us.
shortly September. I'm going to let shortly September take over my reading life in September. I might. I have a few books about Shakespeare and about Shakespeare's London. And I might tap into some of those. And I might read some Shakespeare for Shake-tember, but mostly I'm interested in shorty September. And 30 days is my minimum for that. I hope to actually do more than 30 books in September.
You can easily read some Shakespeare plays as part of your TBR for shortly September. I mean, you can read a Shakespeare play in an hour or two.
Absolutely. Shakespeare plays aren't very long, and some of them are longer than others, of course. Hamlet's fairly long, but even that's pretty short compared to Grapes of Wrath or something like that. But yeah, he's got much shorter plays than that. And people think that because of the language, it's going to take a lot longer to read Shakespeare, but not really. It doesn't have to. The trick to reading Shakespeare, I've found, is you can't get hung up on understanding every single word in every single sentence. I've got a friend, and I like to watch Shakespeare on film too, but I've got a friend, and he just, he gets completely lost. He gets so frustrated that he doesn't understand every word that everybody says that he just can't enjoy the movie. But if you just kind of relax into it, the more you do it, the better you get at understanding it. I mean, that's been my experience with Shakespeare anyway. Well, I mean, how about you?
My Shakespeare experiences are, I think he's been not out of favor with me, but I haven't dipped into him for a good number of years, I would say. But I don't mind reading Shakespeare. I haven't any issue with it. I was very lucky to have some fantastic English teachers at school who really made reading Shakespeare quite painless and actually very enjoyable. And also, I mean, I suppose moving away from Shakespeare. I mean, the first interaction I had, for example, with Chaucer was maybe a little bit more of a, not stumbling block, but the first time you see it, you're like, oh my goodness. But again, wonderful teachers absolutely, pushed, made me enjoy those things. I do want to say again, because we probably have only about 20 minutes or so left of what we can do, to say one last time, it is an open mic. If anybody watching wants to join, you can click the link to the live in the description and at least come on for 15, 20 minutes. We might even stay longer if someone comes on, and you can promote your channel or talk about your BookTube experiences, whatever you want. You were going to say something, Randy.
Yeah. Well, I can continue to tell about my plans for the reading year. After Shorty September comes the month of October, and the Lone Star Book Club is, of course, reading Dracula for October. I will probably also read Salem's Lot, which is one of my favorite Stephen King novels.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite novels, period. It's legitimately spooky. And it's it's one of his earliest novels. I believe it might have been his second or third novel published. But Salem's Lot is terrific. There's a book that everybody loves called Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury, which it's one of those books that I would hit every 5 or 10 years because everybody loves it, and I couldn't get it. Just didn't understand it, didn't like it. And then I finally realized, this is a poem. It's just one really, really long poem that looks like prose. Maybe I'll enjoy it more if I read it aloud. Because I'm a firm believer that poetry should be read out loud, because a poem is a poem because of how it sounds. That's what makes a poem a poem. It has a sound. And when I read Something Wicked This Way Comes aloud to myself, suddenly I got it. And I was like, oh my God, this is wonderful. So I'll probably read that in October, because it also is a very autumn feeling book. The Dead Zone by Stephen King is too. And then Dr. November, which I'm very excited about, because my intention is to read.
1 second, Randy. Sorry, just because I don't want to leave the comments too long. We'll come back. We'll keep people in suspense as to what Randy Ray's reading plans for Dr. November are.
Coming soon.
Good to see you. I'd also like to get Frank Herbert's Dune, Messiah, and Children of Dune 2. Something I've been mulling over: if you watch a production of Shakespeare with the captions on, does it count as reading it? Yeah, I've actually thought about that as well. I suppose maybe it does, perhaps, because you are reading it. If it's done properly and it's word for word, I suppose it does. Dracula is so great. And Helen says, I'm at work, or I'll join you. It would be great to meet some of your subscribers. Yeah, it's a shame no one's joined us, but, maybe another time. So, Dr. November, what are your exciting plans, Mr. Ray?
Oh, you already know what I'm doing for Dr. November. I'm going to read all of the Ian Fleming James Bond books, of which there are 14. He wrote 12 novels and 2 collections of short stories, all of which are short enough that they would qualify for Shorty September. But I'm not reading them for Shorty September because I'm saving them for Dr. November. Also, the Lone Star Book Club is reading the entire Lord of the Rings in November. But I fully expect everybody who's participating in the Lone Star Book Club to not finish the Lord of the Rings in November and to have it lop over into December, which is why for the Lone Star Book Club, there's not a long list of books, or the only reading I have scheduled for the Lone Star Book Club for December are Christmas Carol and The Gift of the Magi. Gift of the Magi takes minutes to read, and Christmas Carol you can finish in an evening. It's another one for Shorty September, but I fully expect to spend about an hour a day on the Lord of the Rings in November, and then increase that to about 2 hours a day in December, and finish by the end of the year.
I recommend the newer Audible audiobook of Christmas Carol, by the way, because it's
he's reading this one.
Hugh Grant.
Oh,
He does a really, really, really good job. It was so much fun. I think I'm going to listen to it again this year. I really enjoyed it. So, yeah.
I'm going to listen to it too.
Yeah, Hugh Grant, man. I
You're
mean,
you're an influence on me, Mark.
there you go. Yeah. A good influence, I hope.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Did you happen to catch the BBC? I think it was a two-parter of A Christmas Carol that they did a few years ago. The star escapes me who was playing Scrooge in it, but I thought it was marvelous.
I know they did a
Guy
series.
Pearce.
Was it? I don't know. Maybe I don't think so. Maybe I was
Guy
here, but
Pearce plays Scrooge in it, and it's it's like Sherlock. It just takes the original story and spins it off into its own way. But it was really, really good.
I know there was a series.
Legitimately creepy too.
There was a series a couple of years ago called Dickensian, where I think I never really got to see it, but I know it started off like A Christmas Carol, and then I
want to
believe
see that show.
they believed in they kind of what was the word I'm looking for? They weaved in different Dickens characters from different novels, so it was like the wider Dickens universe kind of came together and collided. So it looked pretty good. I will give one last chance for the last 15 or so minutes. If anyone wants to join us, there is a link in the description. You can come on and talk to us face to face, plug your channel, etc., etc. So many great events, Helen says, for the rest of the year. Really looking forward to it all. Love Dracula and Vampire. Has anyone read Varney the Vampire? I haven't, but I know. I think Sean Stanfast has, and Michael K. Vaughan has, that I know of. But and Summer's here. Salutations. Hello.
Well, let me tell you, Varney the Vampire is not a candidate for Shorty September.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Carmilla, by the way, is a good candidate for Shorty September by Sheridan LaFanu.
Definitely.
I have a beautiful edition of Carmilla, and I don't have it here handy, but a friend of mine is a bookbinder, and the copy of Carmilla that I have is bound in leather, green leather. It's beautiful.
Very nice.
Goat leather.
Very nice. So yeah, it sounds like you've got an exciting year plan. I mean, I rest of the year plan. I've got something that I'm quite looking forward to that's combining with my Patreon and Shorty September. Is that when I did the TBR, I threw it open to people that you can look at these books. If any of them you want to read, you can read with me. So it's quite nice. What I'm doing. I guess a day buddy read with one patron who wants to read A Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich by Solzhenitsyn. I can never say his name, Alexander Solzhenitsyn. And so I'm going to do that with them. And I thought it would be kind of cool if maybe more of the others fancied reading some of the others I was doing. So it could be like, the Patreon book of the month ends up being like maybe 5-6 different books with 5-6 different people. So it's like 1-to-1 buddy reads over the course of September. But, we shall see. So.
Mark, tell me more about your Patreon channel. I'm sure that our viewers are interested too.
I don't think so. I think they're either members if they wanted to be, or,
No. I don't even know what you offer. And I'm a member of your Patreon.
I was going to say, you are. You should know it. You should. I just offer a few things. I mean, there are almost 500 posts. Now, some of them, of course, are early releases on YouTube or BookTube, but there are plenty of other things that have never seen the light of day on YouTube, and private and personal only to Patreon. It's one of those things you start, or a lot of people start, I think, with the best of intentions. Unless you are doing it properly, kind of full time or whatever, it is quite hard to be absolutely consistent and regular. I do try my best with it, but I think people are generally satisfied, I would hope. Yeah, so there's lots of, I don't know, extra videos, extra pictures, extra kind of updates, things like that. I enjoy it. I mean, it's fun. It's a little bit more intimate, of course, than YouTube. And we do try to have semi-regular lives or discussions with my patrons, which is fun because quite often they are more subscribers rather than YouTubers or booktubers, so you never see them before, right? So when you get to do the live, you actually get to put the face to the name, and that's kind of fun. You know, that's really nice. And there's a good hardcore group within that as well that come to pretty much every live that I do on Patreon. So it's good fun. And a little bird told me, Randy, you are going to be launching a Patreon soon with some.
I am going to launch Patreon soon.
Bookmarks, apparently.
Well, you know, it's funny. I started setting up my Patreon channel, and I didn't announce anything about it other than I'm about to launch a Patreon channel. And, you know, it isn't really set up other than you could go subscribe to my Patreon channel right now if you wanted to. But I have 2 subscribers. I'm sorry?
It is available for people to actually go and...
It is, but it's not ready for prime time yet. You know, I haven't finished putting everything together there, but I do have 2 subscribers there, 2 paid subscribers already, and was very surprised because there's nothing there. You know, I don't have any subscriber only content there yet. But I have plans to launch, you know, of course, this year we've done the Lone Star Book Club, which has been free to the public, and it's been a lot of fun. But I plan to have a Patreon-only book club called the Star Chamber, and so I'm looking forward to that, and also bookmarks and coffee mugs.
Sexy bookmarks, right?
And you know, these aren't just your average bookmarks. These bookmarks are going to have my picture on them.
The carpet bomber.
You know, no, that's not. That's an old nickname.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's an old nickname. No, it's actually not a photograph of me. It's a drawing of me done by an artist friend of mine, where I'm sitting atop a stack of books and I'm reading a book. But it is I mean, he's a good enough artist that it is recognizably me.
And it's like a caricature, cartoon kind of.
Yeah, like a caricature. It's a cartoon version of Randy Ray. And he made my gut quite a bit smaller than it is in real life, which was very kind of him.
Very generous.
But yeah, there will also be coffee mugs for the top tier subscribers.
Someone's got a question. How is Patreon different from OnlyFans? Well, I would suggest you have to subscribe to find out.
I don't know that Patreon is particularly different from OnlyFans unless Patreon has restrictions on content.
I think it does. And I think, you know, I want to say deep in the recesses of my memory, I think OnlyFans was just like a kind of, I don't know if it was before or after Patreon, but they were kind of the same thing, really. I mean, I think
originally they were.
I don't think OnlyFans was meant to be, as it turned out at the beginning. But, you know, yeah. So
I have a friend, and his name is Sean. And he's not somebody here on Facebook or anything like that, but he looks like a leprechaun to me. But Sean told me one time, we were talking about a mutual friend of ours who's a very attractive young woman, that he really enjoyed her OnlyFans. And I asked him, I said, well, how did you know she had an OnlyFans? He said, I asked her. And I said, do you ask every woman you know if she has an OnlyFans? He said, yes, of course.
I remember hearing a while ago, and I couldn't tell you when, and I don't know if it's a secret, but I'm not going to mention who told me or whatever. But I remember hearing that there were certain members of this community that had gone down that particular road as well.
I don't doubt it. I do not recommend asking every woman you know if she has an OnlyFans account.
No.
That may just be because I'm older and old-fashioned. But I think Sean makes himself look a little skeevy by asking every woman he knows if she has an OnlyFans.
The amounts of money are absolutely insane, though, isn't it? For the ones who get, who do well on OnlyFans, it's just unbelievable. I mean, I'm not sure about the trade-off about whether or not I should be on my high horse and saying, they have to live with themselves and it's demeaning and all this kind of stuff. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I think obviously people can do what they want to do, but I mean, for the, some of them are earning literally 6, even 7 figures a month. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I watched a video, and I don't remember the name of the woman who posted this particular video, but I watched a video of a woman who was talking about how much money she really made on OnlyFans posting pictures of her feet.
Mm-hmm.
They were just pictures and videos of her feet and various pantyhose, various socks, various shoes that she would put on or take off or whatever. Her face doesn't appear in any of these videos on her OnlyFans page. And she was not making a huge amount of money. But I want to say she made something like $500, $600 every 3 or 4 months. It was the amount of money that, I can have a really nice dinner for $500.
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, I know there was one young woman, and I think she made a lot of money because she was on some reality show. But I was absolutely flabbergasted when I found out what she did on her OnlyFans. Well, no, I suppose she probably showed stuff on her OnlyFans. I was flabbergasted more about what she sent out in the mail. And
right.
If you are of a sensitive disposition, turn off now, because I am going to say what she did in the mail. So for those who are still with us, I love it. The number didn't even go down, right? So some people, okay, it's gone down by 2 now, right? But she would basically,
oh my goodness,
she would basically break wind, toot into like a jar and send it off to people, and people were paying money for this. I mean, the thing is,
wow.
You wouldn't even have to really do it, would you? I mean, it's just the illusion of it. I mean, I was thinking how funny it would be if she had like this really disgusting roommate who lived off, I don't know, curries and burritos or something, and he was like a big, fat, slob, kind of horrible, hairy-ass man.
Oh.
He would just be like, hey, Pedro, whatever, can you just shoot into this jar? I'm going to send it off to Randy Ray at the Driftwood Ranch in Texas, as he mailed in for it. But it's amazing what people will do. Absolutely amazing. So, you're in trouble.
Mark, have you read any good books lately?
Yeah. You're in trouble for not showing that copy of Carmela. Helen says, not my cup of tea. Who's exploiting who? Well, that sometimes is the thing, isn't it? Who is exploiting who? Most people make that. Yeah, of course, James. Absolutely not. They don't. I'm going to demand my money back. Yeah, I would. Honestly, there's all sorts of things out there, Helen. I think it's outrageous, really. But, again, who's exploiting who? I don't even think you should have to even do anything. I mean, I don't think it would survive, would it? Probably. I'm not an expert in science or anything, but I doubt it would still smell once it arrived, open it up. Oh, Jesus. No idea. Yeah, it's disgraceful. Disgusting.
So I couldn't find my copy of Carmilla, but here's a copy of My Thoughts Be Bloody.
Uh-huh.
This is a book about John Wilkes Booth, who shot Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, and it's interesting because I had this on my TBR one month and was showing it off to Steve Donahue, and he said, I haven't read that.
Steve did a Steve stream yesterday, and a couple of times he actually admitted to not having read something, which surprised me. Wow. People should be noting this down and trying to get him the next season of Has Steve Read It? So, but anyway, we are fast approaching the hour mark. I don't know if you have any last thing to add, Randy, or whether we should just call it a day.
I'm looking for my copy of Carmilla on the bookshelf behind me, but I'm not seeing it.
whip it out for next week. Give yourself a week to find it. So
Yes.
yeah, I think
It's here somewhere.
Yeah, that's probably it from us for this week. I have to get outside. It's getting dark. Got to take somebody out there. So yeah, so thank you very much to Randy for being available for our show.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I apologize for the disgusting turn the show took at the end.
Well, I have to take responsibility for that. So yes, everybody, I promise you, we will have somebody very innocent and sweet on next week if they bother to turn up. Or
I promise we'll have something even worse next week.
Probably. Yeah, who knows what they did behind the old Odeon in Leeds back in 1957, but we'll find out. So everybody, thank you ever so much for watching. Do take care, and we shall see you all again, hopefully next week. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.